Alrighty, boob tubes.
The balance of probabilities is a level will not right. Why do you think that? Well, in essence, those who are voting for the left-wing proposal are really voting against Brexit. That's what it amounts to. Lots of them would say no to that. Well, of course they are. But he's all the way through this process. He's argued for meaningful votes. Why? So the Commons can actually look at the deal and say yes or no. Well, now Mr. Levin won't take yes for an answer. If he doesn't want no deal, this is a deal. And it's the best deal you're likely to get. And I say that
He's busy cooking.
Brexit negotiator.
Have they got a deal yet or not? What's happening?
So I think number 10, unfortunately, a right to increase no deal preparation if Levin wins.
Did you see Danny Tomo arguing with people this morning because they put a sticker on the Queen's face?
Right, well that's interesting because you know you get different versions.
Alright, Cha, how you doing?
I mean, the thing about it, I mean, you ask about the move. Yeah. This is one of those rare occasions when the debate in the chamber may move the day. Right. Okay. That doesn't normally happen. Mostly these things are pretty much set in advance. This is one where somebody can make a...
Is he saying that votes are normally already, they already know the outcome of votes before having the vote? Oh, he just said that.
I'm told that Nigel Dodds was seen with the Prime Minister's PPS a short while ago. Maybe they're still having a chat, but you know, so far they're pretty negative.
Hope
which
you're good, Cha.
The Prime Minister needs quite a few Labour MPs to come on board. Yes. Now, what is your sense of the possibility of that? Getting, let's say, 12 or 15 or more?
Well, those Labour MPs...
My lamb cough has turned out amazing.
Those Labour MPs, I mean, this is D-Day. This is the decision day in all of this. Those Labour MPs may have been... sort of stand back behind their party for a long while, those with large Leave votes in their own constituencies, and not be too obvious about blocking the process. Now, today, there is a deal on the table. So either you want this deal, or you want no deal, or you want to stop the whole Brexit process. And I don't think...
I thought they were meant to be voting already. They draw this out any longer.
I also think, I mean, look, I have every sympathy. I spent more time worrying about Northern Ireland than most English members of Parliament. And I would sympathise with the DUP's position. They back, or the unionists that they represent, back at the time of the Belfast Agreement, gave up the rights of the majority to the minority. They said, you've got a veto. Now they're the minority, they've been asked to give up their veto. So you can understand how they feel about that. But my message to them is, okay, abstain. And if they abstain, I think that will tip the balance, and they'll be able to turn around to the people and say, we didn't support this deal.
God, if I get the time wrong, is it 2:30 and no 2 o'clock?
The viewers watching say, hang on a second,
cheers,
what's wrong with the House of Commons saying we want all the legislation passed and looked at before we give formal approval? Doesn't that sound like common sense?
Well, two things. I mean, firstly, the people who are supporting the Lebanon agreement set today as a deadline. They set today as a deadline. You know, that's why I say they won't take yes for an answer. We've met the deadline, we've provided the deal, and now they're changing the terms of the agreement. The basis of argument...
No rate 5.
Mr. Levin saying basically he doesn't trust some members of the Tory party. They might overturn this legislation. But wait a minute. 3/4 of the House of Commons are Remainers. There are only 162 people in the House of Commons who voted to leave. They don't have it in their power to stop this process and force a no deal. So you know, it's a bogus argument, and it's based on a bogus analysis. And they should do what they implied they would do when they kept saying, we respect the result, we respect the referendum. Well, respect it and vote for the deal.
Got to find China out and everything.
If I may, because this is also to do with Northern Ireland, but it's to do with the quality of the deal. And you know, given your deep involvement at one stage in the negotiations as well, and this is a very important question. You know, there are colleagues of yours saying this actually is a worse deal than the one that Theresa May brought back, which MPs rejected very, very forcefully. And for that reason alone, people should be sceptical about it. What is your view on the difference between the two sets of deals? And is this, in your view, a deal which is honestly better than the one that Mrs May negotiated?
Yeah. Well, remember I resigned over an early version of Mrs May's deal. First thing to say is, yeah, there are 8 differences. I won't list them all for you, but the key ones from Northern Ireland's point of view are the question of the border in the Irish Sea. Many years ago, you may just remember, there was the mad cow crisis. I was the Europe Minister in those days. I remember vividly Ian Paisley Sr. being the man who said, I want English cows inspected in Belfast before they come into Northern Ireland. When, as a practical reality, the DUP looked at the sense outcome? So we've already got an inspection procedure. It's almost invisible. And that's what we're going to do with the rest of this. Make it visible. If I'm selling 1,000 refrigerators to Northern Ireland, and they're only going to Northern Ireland, it should go with almost no visible effect at all. If I want half of them to be sold in the south, then right enough, it should have a customs check. And the only difference is that customs check's going to take place probably in Liverpool or Stranraer or Holyhead, rather than in Belfast itself. And that's proper. If we do a good deal, a good final deal, future economic partnership deal, with no tariffs, no quotas, and minimal regulatory checks, which is what we'll be aiming for, it will make this almost entirely invisible, this problem. And that's what we're aiming for.
Just bear with me a second, though, because I think we have some social media from Parliament itself on the timings. Let me just have a look at what's being said. So this is from Parliament itself. Look, votes expected between 2:30 and 3, which is maybe slightly earlier than you were expecting. Would that make sense to you, or do you think that actually the vehicle has more life in it?
I think the word I got back from somebody who'd been in the chamber, and he intimated to come to the speaker, was he was expecting to let it run for about 5:30. Right. Now that's not official, I don't think. A lot of people want to speak. This is a big day. He's accepted at 2:30 was not necessarily going to be a hard stop, so I would think it would run later than that, but I might be wrong. I mean, look, it's second-hand information.
Just look at the comments there. I think this is Rebecca winding up for Labour, David, so thank you very much for joining us.
You may be right.
It's good to see you. I'll let you go.
At least one of my forecasts is wrong.
Thank you very much. Let's join this.
Woohoo! Might get a vote.
In this country, not a single one backs this deal. The TUC say, and I quote, "This would be a disaster for working people." Union has said it would risk every workplace right and leave public services exposed and vulnerable. While Unite say, by further diluting the legal protections for labour and environmental standards, the Prime Minister has made the laws that underpin workers' rights and public safety extremely vulnerable in future trade deals. Mr. Speaker, I could go on. But we should also look at the business case. Please forgive me for not giving way. We're extremely pushed for time. What does this deal mean
in the
for
afternoon,
business?
folks?
Put it simply, for business, for our industries and our manufacturing, it reduces access to the market of our biggest trade partner, threatening jobs up and down our country at a time when more investment is needed, not less. There is no economic impact assessment and no accompanying legal advice. Funny that, I wonder why.
Better hurry up and get this Brexit over and done with. I'll get dinner.
Britain's on course to sacrifice as much as 130 billion in lost GDP growth over the next 15 years if the Brexit deal goes ahead. And industry's been clear on this. It needs that market access. It needs a customs union to keep vital supply chains flowing. Yet this deal sells them out. No barrier-free access, no customs union. Instead, it puts the fantasy of chasing damaging trade deals with Donald Trump over the needs of our country. Again, Mr. Speaker, you don't have to take my word for it. Make UK, who represent British manufacturing, are clear. Commitments to the closest possible trading relationship in goods have gone. And that, Mr. Speaker, this deal will add cost and bureaucracy, and our companies will face a lack of clarity inhibiting investment and planning. Even the CBI have added the deal remains inadequate on services, and that they have now serious concerns about the direction of the future UK-EU relationship. So this is a bad deal for industry, a bad deal for manufacturing, and more importantly, a bad deal for jobs. But Mr. Speaker, let's look at what this deal will mean for the environment. Let's see what Green groups are saying about it. Greener UK, for instance.
I'll hurry up and get on with the vote now.
Order, there is an excessive noise in the chamber. It's very unfair on the honourable lady who's developing her contribution. Let's listen to each other courteously. Rebecca Long-Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Greener UK, for instance, they've raised huge concerns, saying environmental safeguards are absent from the new withdrawal agreement, and that the toothless environment bill put forward by the government, and I quote, provides neither an enforcement body with independence nor a commitment to non-regression in domestic law. All at a time when we are facing a climate crisis across the world. This is simply not acceptable.
Votes coming.
And Mr. Speaker, country. Well, that is a remarkable statement, especially when you look at their track record. How can we trust them? Well, members on the opposite benches can cheer all they like, but how can we trust a Secretary of State for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy when she has made clear that the small businesses she envisages there being, and I quote, no regulation whatsoever, no minimum wage, no maternity or paternity rights, no unfair dismissal rights, no pension rights. How can we trust the Foreign Secretary, who wrote a pamphlet called Escaping the Straitjacket, which outlined his plans to cut workers' rights and regulations? And how can we trust the Prime Minister himself, who has said the UK should scrap the social chapter and has claimed the current weight of employment regulation is backbreaking? Mr. Speaker, the answer is we can't trust them. If their intentions were to maintain current standards, then why have they slashed every level playing field commitment in the withdrawal agreement? So, Mr. Speaker, we are about to make history, and in the final moments before we enter those lobbies, MPs will consider the weight placed upon their shoulders. Is this deal right for their communities, industries and future generations? No, it isn't. Agreeing this deal doesn't get Brexit done. Instead, it would sell out our country and sell out our communities, leaving us open to an onslaught of deregulation, reduction of rights, putting jobs at risk. And it's something no Labour MP nor any other MP worried about protecting their community could ever support.
Hear, hear.
Mr. Michael Gove. Michael Gove, the Cabinet Minister, summing up for the government.
Mr. Speaker, our democracy is a precious thing, and this Parliament is a special place. Our democracy depends on respect for difference, and this Parliament thrives on respecting the sincerity and the commitment to public service of every member. And that is why I know that deciding how to vote today for many members will have been difficult. And it is important that all of us recognise that for those who argued to remain, and still argue that that is the best outcome, they do so as patriots, that they take a different view from some of us. And for those who argued to leave, and have consistently argued that we should leave, and have argued for a better deal, we should all recognise that they are arguing for what they believe is best for our country. I respect those who have argued for both positions, but I respect most of all the many people in this House who argued that we should remain, who during the course of that campaign believed that it was the best course for the country, but who now recognise that the people having spoken, that verdict must be respected. And that is why, not yet, and that is why, in a debate characterised by many brilliant and passionate speeches, the speech that stood out for me was the speech by my right honourable friend, the member for me. She argued for remain, but she also recognised that when the people had spoken, their verdict had to be respected. And it is not just on our benches, it is on every bench. Members like the member for Great Britain, or the member for Don Valley, or for Rother Valley, they all argued that we should remain. But now they recognise that there is something more precious than being a leaver or a remainer. That is being a Democrat.
Plenty of space.
What unites us in this House is that we are Democrats. And we voted in this House of Commons to have a referendum. We voted in this House of Commons to say that we would respect the verdict of the people. We voted overwhelmingly for Article 50, which honoured that referendum and said that we would leave. How will it look to those who sent us here now if we say to them, we made those sacred promises, but now we choose to dishonour them?
Hurry up, Thunderbird.
It is the case, I know that there will be individuals who will have specific qualms and concerns about this deal, and they exist all across this House. But it is also the case,
All right, Capel, how you doing, my man?
that the time has come for us to decide. None of us in a country that voted 52-48, none of us in a House of 650 members, none of us in a country of 65 million people can ensure that we have our own perfect Brexit. No. But what we can do What we can do is we can be prepared to put aside our perfect for the sake of the common good. And that is what the public want us to do now. In his speech, the member, no I won't, in his speech the member for Holborn and St Pancras laid out some of the concerns that he has about the political declaration. But he knows and we know that if we vote today for the deal, if we vote for this withdrawal agreement, we can then move on to ensure that the future economic partnership that we all want can be framed in the best interests of the British people. And we have given, I shan't give him, but I'm grateful for his persistence. We can ensure...
Order!
Not currently giving way. Mr. Michael Gove.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And during that discussion about our future economic partnership,
I'll let you enjoy the Thunderbird wrapping up. I'm going for a quick smoke before the vote.
Equal weight and equal value, and making sure that we can deliver a Brexit deal that delivers for the 52 and for the 48. That is our intention. And let me be clear, we on this side of the house, no I shan't and no I won't. However tempting it might be, I will decline on this occasion. Now the truth is, because no deal can ever satisfy anyone, we could spend all our time searching for that elusive perfect deal. But what would that position look like to the country? What would it look like to all those who have sent us here? What would it look like to the Honourable Lady's constituents who voted to leave and expected that vote to be honoured? They voted to put trust in this place, to put trust in Parliament, to make a vital decision. If we duck that decision, if we delay, then I'm afraid that people will feel a sense of depression and dismay and demoralisation that the Parliament that they hoped would keep its promises has chosen once again to duck its responsibilities. Now, I am clear also that everyone who has spoken in this debate has spoken from the best of motives, including my right honourable friend, the member for West Dorset, a dear and old friend of mine. But one of the things that I would say to him and to others, and on that point
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the chance to be given way. Everybody has their beliefs, and everybody does what they believe is right, including our honourable friend, the member for West Dorset. If the bill that follows the meaningful vote were to fail, how would the government avoid no deal before the end of October?
One of the things that this government is absolutely committed to doing is making sure that we have a deal. And one of the things that we're also committed to doing is making sure that we obey the law. And one of the things that we're also committed to doing is making sure that we respect the voices of all of those in this House. Let me stay firmly from this dispatch box. This government is committed to ensuring that we have a deal. And the best way of getting that deal, leaving on October the 31st, and being able to move on to the other issues which the people in this country want us to discuss, is by accepting the honourable motives of the mover of the amendment, but recognising also that if we accept that amendment, we will not have a meaningful vote today. We will not unlock the door to our deal being passed. We will have voted, I'm afraid, in the terms of that motion for more delay. And I'm afraid on that basis, I would urge everyone who wants us to honour the referendum mandate to recognise that that amendment, however sincerely it's been put, is unnecessary. What is necessary now is for us to reach a moment of decision. In the other place, Lord Judge, the leader of the crossbench peers, in some respects, the voice of moderation in that House, explicitly said that the time is past for people to quibble and question the precise terms of this deal. He said, a former Lord Chief Justice, that Parliament needs to get on with it. Otherwise, there will be profound damage to public confidence in this place. And that is the question that every member of the House must ask. How will our constituents feel if tonight we vote to support this deal without the amendment? Our constituents will feel that a cloud has been lifted. That Parliament has listened to them with respect. That the vote in 2016...
God almighty, is this guy still jibber-jabbering?
After 3.5 years of deadlock and division, been honoured by a House
Hear him
that
here,
at last
Jody.
is ready to unite. And that is the choice that faces us all. Because if we don't vote for this deal unamended, then I'm afraid that all of those who watching our deliberations will say that Parliament has failed to meet the moment. Parliament has failed to rise to the occasion. Parliament has failed to ensure that an important democratic vote, the most important vote with the greatest number of votes cast for any proposition in our history, will be delayed, will be dishonoured, and will not be delivered. And that is why I urge everyone in this House to recognise our first duty is to the principle that underpins this place.
Said no. The Right Honourable Gentleman is responding to the debate, and he will do so to a conclusion, Mr. Michael Gove.
Our first duty to our constituents and to our country is to keep our promises. This House said that we would honour that referendum mandate. The time has come. And the question that all of us must answer when we return to our constituencies is, did you vote to break the deadlock? Did you vote to end the division of these days? Did you vote to bring the country together? I know that members across this House will support the government this afternoon to do just that.
Michael Gove for the government. Let's see what the Speaker has to say.
To move the questions. Well, I am indeed putting the question. I'm extremely grateful. The question is that Amendment A be made. As many as I've that opinion say aye.
No.
Say no.
No.
Division! Clear the lobby.
So, Mr. Speaker calls this first division, which is on this amendment presented by the senior Conservative MP and former Cabinet Minister and close colleague of David Cameron's at one stage, Sir Oliver Letwin. He is the one who has put this amendment forward. And what I'd like to do now, as MPs are filing into the division lobbies, is just explain to you once again what this is about, because we're not at the stage yet where MPs are voting on Boris Johnson's deal. We're not at that
God
stage.
almighty.
We are voting on an amendment which will have a big impact on what happens in the next half hour or so in the House of Commons.
Fucking hell.
The Letwin amendment basically...
This is worse than Coronation Street and EastEnders, the amount of cliffhangers they keep giving you.
Deal with the EU until a certain point, until the legislation to enact the deal has been safely passed. In other words, it delays it. It automatically triggers the so-called Benn Act, so the act associated with the Labour MP Hilary Benn. This tells the Prime Minister that he must seek a further delay to the Brexit process beyond the deadline, the current deadline of October the 31st. And that is because, according to the law, an extension must be requested if a deal has not been
Check that guy's brows out, man.
by the end of today. Today is the deadline for this approval.
Right,
So
they do know how to
once
drag
the
things out.
legislation is passed, if it is, the delay
Talk to
falls away.
myself.
So, very, very important vote coming
They're
up.
having a vote before the final vote.
If it is passed, it
Pain in the
builds in
bum, man.
another delay, and we heard Michael Gove say there that if it is passed, well,
Like
then
the
the
noise
government
going
is
off, can you
not
hear it?
minded to hold that big vote on the deal itself. It's this vote is really a crunch vote on the process that we are seeing today on this historic day in Westminster, the first Saturday sitting for 37 years. If the Letwin amendment is defeated in this vote coming up, well, then we will move on to vote on Boris Johnson's deal struck in Brussels earlier this week. So the vote coming up, you know, puts us at a fork in the road, if you like. It's a very, very important fork in the road indeed. Let's join Vicky Young in the central lobby inside Parliament there, just a short distance away from where MPs are voting. And Vicky, what are you picking up now?
Yeah, you can see MPs scurrying through. Most of them were in the chamber for that rather rowdy end to proceedings. And as you say, this is the amendment, this is not the vote on the deal itself. This is Oliver Letwin saying that the House has considered this, but we are withholding our approval until legislation goes through. Now, I have to say, there is a lot of anger here, particularly amongst pro-Brexit Conservative MPs. They feel that this to vote on a deal, they now feel that this is really moving the goalposts. It's taking that opportunity away, because Downing Street say what this does, if this goes through from Oliver Letwin, it actually means that the next vote that we might come to would be totally meaningless, because it is not in any way saying that the House of Commons supports the deal. So there is a lot of anger here. Lots of people have been trying to persuade Oliver Letwin. He was in Downing Street last night trying to persuade him to not go ahead with this. What I think Downing Street hoped was that he would table it slightly differently, maybe say in this amendment something like, look, we approve this deal or we support this deal, but we're not going to give it formal approval until the legislation goes through. And really it's partly because there's a lack of trust. There are some who think what might happen today is that MPs could have voted for the deal, the bill, the legislation that you have to have before we leave, that could have been voted down, then we're potentially left in a position of leaving without a deal once again at the end of October. So
you
a lot
need
of
bag.
arguments here. Downing Street saying we are not
Magic
going to take part in
cupboards got
something
all
which is an irrelevance, so they wouldn't take part in any votes if it came through, if this Oliver Letwin amendment goes through.
Just bear with me, Vicky. I'll be back to you in just a second, because I just want to explain to people what's going on. And there you have an image, look, from Leila Moran, one of the MPs voting there, of what the division lobby looks like, because there are no TV cameras in there, as we know. And I'm not sure that people are meant to take photos anyway, but we're very grateful to Leila for tweeting this one, because it gives you a sense of the absolute intensity of the atmosphere as MPs are queuing up there to pass the tellers' desks. So if I can explain to you, if you look at this picture, they're all queuing up, and then they will pass a desk at the end of the lobby where the tellers, that's the MPs who are counting the votes, will tick off names as they go past. They have a long list of 650 MPs, and they'll tick the names off as the MPs pass the desk.
Right, everybody, looks like it's going to be a long one. I'm going to do the off and do something useful until the vote comes in. As soon as the vote comes in, I'll do another wee live stream. I'm wasting my time watching this shite. Catches in a bit, everybody. Have a good one.
There are two voting lobbies, one on each.